The 11 most important sacred objects in the Bible. In the vast universe of the Bible, one finds objects that transcend the earthly, objects that have been imbued with divine meaning and power. These 11 sacred objects have left a deep mark on the history and faith of millions of people around the world. In this fascinating video, we will embark on a journey through sacred passages and biblical stories to discover the most revered treasures of all. From ancient relics to divine instruments, we will explore their mystery and meaning. Get ready to reveal the secrets and stories behind the 11 most important sacred objects in the Bible. Number 11. Aaron's Rod. Aaron's rod is a sacred object mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Numbers. Aaron was the brother of Moses and was chosen as the first high priest of Israel. The wand was a symbol of divine authority and power given by God. According to the story, during the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, there was a dispute among the tribes over who should be the spiritual leader. To resolve this, God commanded Moses to take a staff from each tribe and place them in the tent of the testimony. The next day, Aaron's staff, representing the tribe of Levi, blossomed and produced almonds, while the other staffs remained inert. This miracle confirmed Aaron's divine election as high priest and demonstrated his authority over the other tribes. The rod remained as a visible symbol of this choice and was preserved in the Ark of the Covenant along with the tables of the law. Aaron's rod is mentioned in several biblical passages, such as in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament, where it is described as a symbol of resurrection and eternal life. Although the rod itself has no intrinsic power, it represented the presence and will of God for the people of Israel. Number 10. The Rod of Moses. The Rod of Moses is a sacred object mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Exodus. This staff is believed to have been used by Moses during the events of the Exodus, when he led the people of Israel out of slavery in Egypt. According to the biblical narrative, God granted Moses the power to perform miracles through the rod. Moses used the staff to demonstrate his authority and as a divine instrument to carry out the 10 plagues of Egypt, which convinced Pharaoh to free the Hebrew people. It is also said that with the staff, Moses parted the waters of the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to cross to freedom, and then caused the waters to close again, destroying the pursuing Egyptian army. The staff was also used by Moses to obtain water from a rock and to perform other wonders during the journey of the people of Israel through the desert. Furthermore, the staff represented Moses' authority and leadership over the people. The rod of Moses became a powerful symbol of God's presence and power in the life of Moses and in the history of the people of Israel. However, after Moses' death, the staff is no longer mentioned in the Bible and its whereabouts are unknown. Number 9. The Table of the Last Supper. The Table of the Last Supper is a sacred object of great importance in the Bible. It is known for being the scene where Jesus shared his last meal with his disciples before his crucifixion. According to biblical accounts, the Last Supper took place during the Jewish Passover celebration. Jesus and his disciples gathered around a table to share a banquet, during which Jesus instituted the Christian sacrament of the Eucharist, where the bread and wine are considered the body and blood of Christ. The table of the Last Supper has become a powerful symbol of Jesus' sacrifice and Christian communion. Over the centuries, it has been depicted in numerous works of art and has been an object of veneration in different Christian traditions. Although no physical object remains that can be identified as the original table of the Last Supper, its importance transcends the material and is based on its spiritual meaning. It is a reminder of the importance of brotherhood, humility, and unconditional love that Jesus taught his followers during that crucial moment. Number 8. The Sacred Spear. The Holy Spear is an object of great importance in biblical tradition, and various meanings and symbolism are attributed to it. According to the biblical narrative, the Holy Spear, also known as the Spear of Destiny or the Spear of Longinus, was the weapon used by a Roman soldier to pierce the side of Jesus during the crucifixion. It is believed that this spear had supernatural powers and great symbolic meaning. According to some traditions, the blood of Christ that was shed when he was wounded with the spear had healing properties and granted divine powers. The holy spear became an object of veneration, and numerous stories and legends were woven around it. The story of the holy spear continues after the crucifixion of Jesus. According to tradition, the spear was taken to Constantinople and became an important item in the imperial treasury. Over the centuries, different stories were created about its whereabouts and its miraculous properties. During the Middle Ages, the holy spear became even more important, especially during the Crusades. Possessing it was believed to give an advantage in battle, and many military leaders and kings sought to obtain it. Legend has it that the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne owned the holy spear and that it was inherited by several later rulers. Number 7. The Menorah. The menorah is a sacred object of great importance in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament. It is described as a 7-branched candelabrum made of pure gold and is mentioned in the book of Exodus. According to the biblical narrative, God instructed Moses on how to build the menorah for the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary used by the Israelites during their wilderness journey. The menorah had to be made from a single piece of beaten gold and decorated with almond blossoms, chalices and buttons, all in its design. The menorah was a symbol of light and divine knowledge. It was placed in the holy place of the tabernacle, in front of the veil that separated the holy place from the most holy place, where the Ark of the Covenant was located. The priests lit and maintained the menorah lamps with pure olive oil, ensuring that they never went out. The menorah continually illuminated the sanctuary, symbolizing God's presence and his guidance for the people of Israel. The importance of the menorah is also reflected in Jewish tradition. After the construction of the temple in Jerusalem, the menorah was moved there and became a central symbol in Jewish worship. The temple was destroyed in the year 70 AD, and since then the location of the original menorah has been unknown. Today, the menorah remains an important symbol in Judaism. During the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, a 9-branched menorah called Hanukkah is lit to commemorate the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days in the temple in Jerusalem. This event is celebrated as a reminder of the liberation and rededication of the temple. Number 6. The Holy Cross. The Holy Cross is a sacred object of great importance in the Bible and in Christian tradition. It is believed that it was on a cross that Jesus Christ was crucified and died as a redemptive sacrifice for the sins of humanity. The cross has become a central symbol of Christianity, representing salvation, divine love and hope. According to the Gospels, after the crucifixion of Jesus, the cross became an object venerated by followers of Christ. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine the Great adopted Christianity as the official religion of the Roman Empire and promoted the veneration of the Holy Cross. From that moment on, the cross became an object of devotion and adoration. The Holy Cross has been represented in different ways throughout history, from simple crosses to crosses with the figure of the crucified Christ. Many Christians wear crosses around their necks or have them in their homes as a symbol of their faith. In addition to its religious significance, the Holy Cross has also acquired symbolic value in everyday life. It is used as a reminder of Christian values and as a symbol of protection and blessing. Number 5. The Holy Tunic. The Holy Robe is a sacred object that plays an important role in the Bible. According to Christian tradition, this tunic was worn by Jesus Christ during his crucifixion. The tunic became a symbol of Jesus' passion and resurrection. The history of the Holy Tunic dates back to the biblical story in which Roman soldiers cast lots for Jesus' tunic after his crucifixion. According to popular belief, this tunic was preserved and passed down through the centuries. Throughout history, the Holy Tunic has been venerated and has been the object of pilgrimages and devotion by believers. One of the best-known places associated with the tunic is the city of Trier in Germany, where the Trier Cathedral is located. It is said that the tunic has been kept there since the 12th century. However, it is important to note that the authenticity of the Holy Tunic has been the subject of debate and controversy. Some scholars question its authenticity and argue that there is no conclusive historical evidence to support its authenticity. Number 4. The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a sacred object of great importance in Christian tradition, and various interpretations are attributed to it throughout history. According to legend, the Holy Grail is the chalice used by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper, in which he shared bread and wine with his disciples. The search for the Holy Grail became an obsession for many medieval knights, who believed that possessing this object would give them supernatural powers and the ability to achieve immortality. The stories and tales surrounding the Grail are often intertwined with the figure of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The myth of the Holy Grail was further popularized through literary works, such as the poems of the Arthurian cycle and the legends of the Knights Templar. In these narratives, the Grail is described as a sacred object that grants blessings and reveals truth to those worthy of finding it. Although there is no conclusive historical evidence about the physical existence of the Holy Grail, its symbolism transcends beyond a material object. It is interpreted as a symbol of faith, spiritual quest and redemption, and has been associated with the idea of divine grace and the promise of eternal life. Number 3. The Crown of Thorns. The Crown of Thorns is a sacred object of great importance in the Bible. According to evangelical accounts, it was a crown woven from thorns that was placed on Jesus' head before his crucifixion. This event took place during the Passion of Christ on Mount Calvary, as part of his suffering and humiliation before being crucified. The crown was made from thorns of a thorny plant commonly known as Ziziphus spina Christi, which grows in the Jerusalem region. After placing it on Jesus' head, the Roman soldiers mocked him, beat him, and insulted him. The crown of thorns became a powerful symbol of Jesus' suffering and sacrifice for humanity. Since then, the crown of thorns has been considered a sacred object and has been venerated by Christians around the world. Several churches and pilgrimage sites house supposed relics of the crown. The most famous is the crown found in the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, although other copies and fragments are also claimed to exist in different places. The crown is a reminder of Jesus' suffering and his surrender on the cross to redeem the sins of humanity. It represents the humility, patience, and unconditional love of Christ. For Christians, the crown of thorns is a symbol of passion and redemption, and a reminder of the importance of faith and hope in the spiritual life. Number 2. The Tables of the Ten Commandments. The Tables of the Ten Commandments are a sacred object of great importance in the Bible. According to Jewish and Christian tradition, these tablets were given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai. They are considered a symbol of the alliance between God and the people of Israel. The Tables of the Ten Commandments contain the fundamental principles and guidelines for moral and spiritual life. These commandments include prohibitions such as not worshiping other gods, not taking God's name in vain, and not committing acts of murder, adultery, theft, or false witness, among others. It is believed that the original tablets were written by the finger of God on stone, making them a sacred object of great historical and religious importance. According to the Bible, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the tables, he found the people of Israel worshiping a golden calf, which provoked his anger, and he broke the tables. Despite the destruction of the original tablets, the importance of the Ten Commandments is maintained in religious tradition. These commandments are considered the basis of morality and ethics in Judaism and Christianity, and have influenced the legislation and moral values of many societies throughout history. Number 1. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is considered one of the most important sacred objects in the Bible. It is mentioned in the Old Testament and is believed to have been built following divine instructions given to Moses on Mount Sinai. The ark was a rectangular box made of acacia wood and covered with pure gold. It was approximately 1.1 meters long, 0.66 meters wide and 0.66 meters high. At the top of the box was a lid called the mercy seat, on which were two golden cherubs facing the center. Among the cherubim, it was said that the presence of God was manifested in a special way. 3 sacred objects were kept inside the ark: the stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, a portion of the manna that God provided to the Israelites during their journey in the desert, and Aaron's rod that miraculously blossomed as a sign of his election as high priest. The Ark of the Covenant was carried by the Levitical priests during the journeys of the people of Israel in the desert and was later placed in the Holy of Holies of the Temple in Jerusalem. It was believed to represent the presence and protection of God among the people. When the Ark was carried into battle, God was said to fight on Israel's behalf. However, in 586 BC, the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed by the Babylonians and the Ark of the Covenant disappeared. Since then, its whereabouts have been the subject of speculation and mystery, and its current location is unknown.